All right, good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Thank you all for being here tonight. We are having our second of our summer meetings here in the village. I want to welcome everyone, and I hope you're all doing well. Hope everyone is safe. Hopefully your families are healthy and safe. Tonight we have a special guest with us, a young gentleman working on his Eagle Scout project, and that's Robert Craig here from Troop 482. Robert, thank you so much for being here. Could I ask a big favor? Would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you, Robert. I'd ask everybody to please remain standing. I apologize for those voice. Yesterday, our neighboring village and very special friends lost a good, wonderful gentleman, a former fire chief, and a gentleman who was also very active in our community with Little League and things like that, and is John Porter Passo. So I would ask you to please, dive away too young, so I would ask you to please remember him, and please keep him in your prayers and his family as well. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Please be seated. Today we will go through our regular board meeting. Today is a regular board meeting, which means we will have the regular agenda followed by board reports, and then we will have open the floor to the public for anybody who might have questions or issues that they want to raise before the village board. With that, I will ask our village clerk, Ms. Walsh, please do the agenda.
Thank you, Mayor Longo. I would ask the board to approve the minutes of the public hearing of 99 Tobin Avenue held on July 14, 2020, and the regular board meeting minutes held on the same evening, July 14, 2020.
So moved.
second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is carried.
I would ask the board to approve the schedule of accounts payable as follows. As of July 31st, 2020, the general fund, $956,213.70. Swimming pool fund, $82,254.22. Capital fund, $14,342.17. For a grand total of $1,052,810.09. And schedule of accounts payable as of August 14, 2020, the general fund is $978,764.45. Swimming pool fund is $93,365.65. And capital fund is $41,034.89. For a grand total of $1,113,164.99.
I'll offer that resolution.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Walsh, will you please poll the board?
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Trustee Pombana.
Aye.
Trustee Chang.
Aye.
Trustee Chair.
Aye.
And Mayor Longfellow.
Aye.
I would ask the board to ratify and approve the salary increases for all the year-round park attendants and pool staff as presented.
I'll offer that resolution.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Ms. Walsh, will you please poll the board?
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Trustee Pombana.
Aye.
Trustee Chang.
Aye.
Trustee Chair.
Aye.
And Mayor Longfellow.
I will vote aye with the exception of Lisa O'Grady, which I will recuse myself. Thank you very much.
So moved. I would ask the board to approve the request of Fish and the Floral Park Junior Women's Club to use the Recreation Center as outlined in their request, subject to COVID-19 protocols, CDC guidelines, and receipt of certificate of insurance.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is carried.
I would ask the board to approve the request of the Floral Park Tight Nets to use their hockey rink to hold their practices as outlined in their request, subject to COVID-19 protocols, CDC guidelines, and receive a certificate of insurance.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is carried.
I would ask the board to authorize the payment and settlement of the below-listed motor vehicle accidents as presented.
I'll offer that resolution.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Walsh, will you please poll the board?
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Trustee Pombana.
Aye.
Trustee Chang.
Aye.
Trustee Chiara?
Aye.
And Mayor Longfellow?
Aye.
I would ask the board to grant the application for the special use permit for the application of Alfred Vincenzo's Floral Park Depository, 1929 Realty Partners LLC, owner of 99 Covert Avenue, Floral Park, New York, business name Olive Mediterranean Grill, subject to the terms and conditions set forth in the decision and resolution.
I'll offer the resolution.
I will second it.
Okay, before we vote on this, I just wanted to let everybody know that in this decision, this is of course granting the application for the restaurant at 99 Covert, the former Sterling Bank. I just want to let everybody know that we have spent a lot of time reviewing this, taking into consideration everybody's questions, everybody's concerns, everybody's issues. And many of the promises and many of the issues raised and many of the mitigation matters that were offered by the applicant have been included in this decision. So we think it's a fair decision. We think it's a good decision to move forward with. We also think it's a very good decision on behalf of the owners of this business to make sure that they become good neighbors to the people around them. So we thank them for their cooperation, but I also thank, more importantly, all the residents for bringing their concerns to us. So as we move forward with this, should in any way, shape, or form that the applicant decide not to abide by the regulations and the rules that are placed here, the village does have other options, and there are other things that we are looking at to help make sure that the residents and again the residents that live around will be, we hope, a very successful business and restaurant don't have a quality of life issue in any way, shape, or form. So I just wanted to let that be known before we vote on this.
And Mayor, that will include the area of parking, which is a bit challenging for them. Anyway.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and with that, Ms. Walsh, will you please poll the board?
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Trustee Pombana.
Aye.
Trustee Chang.
Aye.
Trustee Chiara.
Aye.
And Mayor Longfellow?
Aye.
I would ask the board to ratify and approve the village administrator to sign a stipulation of settlement with the Floral Park PDA relating to 207C benefits for a retired police officer.
I'll offer a resolution.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Walsh, will you please poll the board?
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Trustee Pombana.
Aye.
Trustee Chang.
Aye.
Trustee Chiara.
Aye.
And Mayor Longfellow?
Aye.
I would ask the board to approve the request of Hillcrest, Southside, and North End Civic Associations to use the Recreation Center from September 2020 through June 2021 as outlined in their letters and subject to COVID-19 protocols and CDC guidelines.
You said no windows.
Yes.
So moved.
Seconded.
Is there any further discussion? With that, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is carried.
I would ask the board to authorize to amend resolution number 2020-126, which grants permission for restaurants to use designated public spaces in accordance with all rules and regulations of the state of New York and its agencies, the county of Nassau, and the village during phases 2, 3, and 4 of the New York State Plan, promulgated in response to the coronavirus pandemic, and amend said resolution by extending the outdoor dining agreements through the end of October 2020.
I'll offer that resolution.
Second.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, just a brief comment on this. We will be working closely. I want to thank everybody, all of our residents, all of the people who have supported our local restaurants and businesses during COVID-19. I can't tell you how important that is, that we have a strong business district, but more importantly, thank you again so much for all the things you're doing to make sure that we keep our businesses and keep our restaurants strong here. And one of the things we're hoping to do is extend that outdoor dining. We will again take a look at this at the end of October, but we think, with the weather changing, we probably, at that point, people may not want to sit outside, but at this point, we think it's prudent to do this, so we are moving this now. So any other further discussion from any of the trustees? Okay, with that, Ms. Walsh, could I ask you please call the board?
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Trustee Pombana.
Aye.
Trustee Chang.
Aye.
Trustee Chiara.
Aye.
And Mayor Longfellow?
Aye.
I would ask the board to award the Floral Boulevard storm drainage and road reconstruction bids to the lowest bidder, Road Work Ahead, Inc., in the amount of $1,668,900 $2,250.
I happily offer this resolution. This was a result of negotiations that we had back in 2016 when we discussed the third track project. And without the money that we received from the state, we could never have done the Floral Boulevard in its entirety at one time. And that road needs it because it's beat up my car pretty badly. So I will offer that resolution now.
I will second it.
I'm trying to come up with a comment for ruining Trustee Chang's car, but I'm not going to do that. With that, we could ask Ms. Walsh, will you please poll the board?
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Trustee Pombana.
Aye.
Trustee Chang.
Aye.
Trustee Chair.
Aye.
And Mayor Longfellow.
Aye.
I would ask the board to authorize the mayor or village administrator to sign the June 1st, 2020 through May 31st, 2021, the Floral Park Volunteer Fire Department Agreement for fire protection services in the amount of $92,000.
I will offer that resolution.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Walsh, will you please poll the board?
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Trustee Pombana.
Aye.
Trustee Chang.
Aye.
Trustee Chair.
Aye.
And Mayor Longfellow.
I gratefully and happily say yes to that. Thank you.
I would ask the board to authorize the extension of the current concrete sidewalk contract with Gen L Construction Company for a period of 1 year with same terms and conditions in said contract.
I'll offer that resolution.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Walsh, will you please poll the board?
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Trustee Pombana.
Aye.
Trustee Chang.
Aye.
Trustee Chair.
Aye.
And Mayor Longfellow.
Aye.
I would ask the board to approve the transfer of Liam Corsack and Justin Hughes from the Highway Department to the Department of Sanitation as MEO sanitation workers.
I'll offer that resolution.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Walsh, will you please poll the board?
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Trustee Pombana.
Aye.
Trustee Chang.
Aye.
Trustee Chiara.
Aye.
And Mayor Longfellow.
Aye.
I would ask the board to authorize the village clerk to sign Nassau County's Board of Elections supplemental agreement and addendum to the original memorandum of agreement wherein the village agrees to comply with COVID-19 protocols for use of their voting equipment on village election day, September 15, 2020.
I'll offer that resolution.
I will second it.
Any discussion? Ms. Walsh, will you please poll the board?
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Trustee Chang.
Aye.
Trustee Chiara.
Aye.
Mayor Longfellow. And Trustee Pombana. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Aye.
And Mayor Longfellow.
Aye.
And finally, I would ask the board to authorize the mayor to sign the Nassau County Fire Service Mutual Aid Plan, where I don't have all the details, but authorize the mayor to sign the service mutual plan. I apologize.
That's okay.
I'll move.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Walsh, will you please poll the board?
Trustee Fitzgerald.
Aye.
Trustee Pombana.
Aye.
Trustee Chang.
Aye.
Trustee Chair.
Aye.
And Mayor Longfellow.
Aye.
That would be all.
Thank you very much. Okay. Again, thank you. And with that, we'll go to board reports. And I'll start with Deputy Mayor Kevin Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With regards to DPW and the recent storm, I think the best way to give this report is to read Superintendent Ganay's report that he gave to the board a couple of days ago. So this is from Superintendent Ganay. On Tuesday, August 4th, 2020, our public works crews were on alert and ready when tropical storm Isaias barreled up the coast into our area. Tree crews were positioned in the field with supervisors and backup crews standing by. The first effects were felt approximately 11:30 as police calls began to come over the radios and down trees. By 1 p.m., winds were gusting upwards of 70 miles an hour. Communication was immediately opened with the board and the village administrator. Contact was made with PSE&G to expedite arrangements for tree assistance and linemen. Additionally, requests to trusted ancillary contracted services were made to assist in our recovery. DPW crews were called into full emergency mode. Trees began falling down, taking down poles and power lines onto homes. DPW crews attempted to keep up with the storm under extremely dangerous conditions, responding to calls throughout the village to down trees and power lines. They placed barricades to secure block roads and picking up limbs where possible, tree limbs. With the knowledge that the storm was moving away from our area fast and the safety of our crews in mind, the decision was made around 2 p.m. to call our crews back to the garage for their safety. With the knowledge of the wind spread damage, a swift decision was made to suspend also sanitation pickup during the day. By 4 p.m., the storm had pulled out of our area
but not before downing approximately 80 trees. Trees fell off the power lines, ripping up telephone poles onto roadways, property, and with many of those falling onto residential homes. DPW crews were back into force with the arduous task of cleaning up during still very windy conditions, including the risky removal of a compromised tree in danger of coming down on Carnation Avenue. The mayor and I saw the work they were doing. That was amazing. The crews worked late into the night alongside our contractors clearing trees, opening roads, and assisting residents, some of them who had their homes blocked by fallen trees. Over the course of the following days after the storm, our crews worked 12 to 14-hour days removing trees from homes with cranes that were hired by our contractors. An aggressive outreach plan continued to work with PSE&G to remove unsafe power lines and down trees and restore power to our residents who lost it. By week's end, the majority of trees were removed from residents' homes, power restored, and roadways cleared. The next phase of the restoration, which is still ongoing, the removal and grinding of stumps, necessary repairs to sidewalks, curbing, and other damages that may have occurred to village property. Superintendent Ganane would like to thank his Deputy Superintendent Joe Brady, all the DPW crews who worked tirelessly throughout the storm and the days of cleanup over the following weeks. A special thanks to our tree crew, especially tree pruners Joe Esposito and Matt McGeever for their expertise. With the support of the village administrator and working closely with Lieutenant Doherty, Commissioner McAllister, and the entire police department, along with the superintendent buildings and the entire building department, the DPW staff has aided in the coordination of efforts in support of the difficult work. Finally, thank you to Charles Landscaping, Concal Landscaping, General Construction, Tip Top Towing, Dry Tree Service, and Fran Lawrence for all their expertise and assistance in helping us weather the storm. The one thank you that's not in here is to Superintendent Ganane, who did a tremendous job, not only during the storm, after the storm, but before the storm, in preparing the village and the crews to make sure that we got through the best we possibly could. So thanks to everybody for a job well done. I think, Mr. Mayor, this is the third time me and you, since we've done the board, been through some pretty serious storms. Hopefully it's the last one. And lastly, with the police, continue to thank the police department for all their work, and may God bless and keep them safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'll save my comments for later. We'll go to Dr. Lincoln.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. First of all, for our pool and recreation departments, it's been a most enjoyable summer at our village recreation center. Children and adults have enjoyed the outdoors at the park, engaging in many of our summer programs, including exercise and fitness, sports, dance, and arts and crafts. Our all-day camp program was completely full at the 50% occupancy level, with 100 children enjoying the full array of our recreation and pool activities. Meanwhile, speaking of the pool, I'm first happy to introduce Mr. Tom Dillon, who's in the audience today. He is our pool director, has spent an especially busy summer this year at the pool, given all the changes we've had to make. But I have to say, all the feedback's been very, very positive. Tom, we thank you for all the work you've put in and all the things you've done to make it an enjoyable, although somewhat unusual summer at the pool, so thank you. At the pool, hundreds of our members, guests, and resident non-members have enjoyed swimming and poolside activities on our many hot and sunny July and August days and evenings. Ever popular has been our Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning water aerobics, which has frequently included over 60 fun-loving, physically fit, enthusiastic participants. A great success story. Stay tuned for further information on our village website and village and pool Facebook pages for upcoming resident sessions and evening swims, and for news about our pool closing activities at the end of this season. Until then, wishing you many happy times at our park and pool. For the Conservation Society, Centennial Gardens is open noon to 5 p.m. daily for all who enjoy nature and the outdoors in Floral Park. After 5 p.m., you also may enjoy a walk around the brick path surrounding the gardens. The path runs from Floral Parkway side onto Raff Avenue and then onto Carnation Avenue. The Raff Avenue side now boasts beautiful LED lighting and new lampposts, identical to the Carnation Avenue lighting previously installed for relaxing evening walks. There are future plans for completing the LED lighting and lamppost installations on the Floral Parkway side of the gardens. want to also say thank you to Floral Park Department of Public Works and Superintendent Ganane for our new lights, as well as all of your days of hard work returning Floral Park to its beautiful self again after that recent severe storm. The police and fire departments are also thanked for your tremendous efforts and valuable support through those 2 weeks. Covert Avenue Chamber of Commerce and our businesses like to take walks. Try strolling along Covert Avenue, Tulip Avenue, and Jericho Turnpike. Check out our local businesses and take a moment to shop, dine, and take out local in the Floral Park and Stewart Manor villages. And finally, saluting our graduates. Our local graduations have continued through the summer as we honor those students moving on to higher levels of education and employment. On July 25th, our Floral Park Memorial seniors, as well as those from the other 4 Sewanaka District High Schools, graduated in front of their family members and friends. On August 1st, the 8th graders from the Our Lady Victory School also celebrated their graduations at a beautiful mass and ceremony. At the same time, many of our Floral Park students were also commemorating their graduations at the area's private schools. Please take a moment to congratulate our class of 2020, our awesome class of 2020, and say, we are so proud of you, and we wish you a wonderful future.
Thank you very much. Trustee Chang?
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I also want to thank all of our village employees and volunteers for their dedication, commitment, and untiring work in the aftermath of Tropical Storm Isaias. Our thanks go out to each and every member of the Department of Public Works and the Parks Department, which include the tree staff, highway department, laborers, sanitation department, garage mechanics, and clearing and making our roads passable, and for clearing trees off our homes. I also want to thank our police department and the volunteers from the fire department for the job they did to ensure the safety of all of our residents. Numerous people have stopped me this past week to say while we pay for the privilege of living in Floral Park, the professional and dedicated way the village employees and volunteers responded to this emergency, and the way neighbors help neighbors, reminds them of what a great place Floral Park is to live in. So the fire department, the annual Knights of Columbus and Keith Fair and Blood Drive will be held on Friday, August 28, 2020 from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Our Lady of Victory. The department advises that while walk-ins are permissible, to avoid long wait times, you can make an appointment by calling the Blood Center at 516-840-9883. And if you look on the village website, that is also posted. Please remember that all COVID rules regarding social distancing, face mask, temperature taking, and related questions about your health will be followed. Calls for the month of May, rescue call 77, rescue department 19. As to the third track, the latest updates are as follows. Work is continuing at the MTA substation at Plainfield Avenue. It seems to never end. Retaining and sound wall work will commence on the north side of the right-of-way near Charles Street sometime during the first 2 weeks of September. We will nail that down probably in the next 10 days or so. Elevator work continues and testing is expected to occur in late November or December. With any luck, the 3 elevators will be operational before the first snowfall. Inasmuch as retaining wall will severely limit access to the right-of-way, the fire department is also beginning to study access points and means of ingress and egress to and from the tracks in the event of an emergency. The department will be discussing these issues with Long Island Railroad fire marshals and neighboring departments.
Thank you, sir, very much. And Trustee Chiara. Frank?
Thank you. For our crew organization, they have been sponsoring a jam session, which is being held every other Wednesday evening. It has been really enjoyable for all of those who have been attending. Marco Canelli, a resident songwriter and author, and fellow band members have been sharing their expertise in performing and songwriting while playing their instruments and singing some popular songs with the other musicians who are attending. For young adults, it is a great way to spend their Wednesday evening, playing their instruments and honing their musical skills and just having a fun time. All young adults are welcome to attend. The next session will be on Wednesday, August 26th at 7 p.m. by the Shelter House in the Recreation Center. For the building department has been fully operational, handling all building and construction permits needed by the residents. During the recent storm, Renee and her team were out there assisting our residents inspecting properties to ensure that all were safe and offering advice on construction issues. Thank you for your help. For the library, it is open to the public with limited capacities to ensure a safe environment for our patrons and staff. Use of computers is offered by appointment only, and virtual events are currently available for all our age groups. The library's latest trivia contest on Harry Potter had over 80 participants. Michael D. was the winner of a $25 Amazon gift card. Some really great news. A local resident and devoted friend of the library, Jessica Alfonsi, handed in a sizable donation from a private family foundation which she manages. The donor family wishes to remain anonymous. We would like to send our extreme thanks to this most generous family, and thanks to Jessica for considering our library for this donation. These funds will come in really handy to help complete our young adult area and for other areas needed in the library. Thank you, Jessica and the donor family. Please check the library website for upcoming events.
That's great, thank you. And for my report, we got a lot going on. First and foremost, how we doing, Robert? Yeah? Any questions yet? No? All right. Okay, we didn't fall asleep yet, did you? Okay, just checking, make sure you're still awake. All right. It's been a crazy summer for all of us. And I want to take this opportunity, I know I say this all the time, but we are beyond blessed to have the family we have here in this village working and doing the things that they do. From the COVID-19 preparations to, and again, Village Hall is open, all of our buildings are open. We never did shut down. We may not have been able to be together, but the village never shut down. To the point we are today, where we are able to, again, be here in person, but at the same time, make sure that we follow rules and regulations to ensure everybody's safety. So I want to thank all of the staff for that. The last couple of weeks, everybody knows that we've gone through a major tropical storm. I will tell you that this storm, wind damage from this storm was, in my opinion, worse than Sandy. We had more trees down than we did in Sandy during this storm. We had more trees on houses and more electrical issues than we did during Sandy. Those issues, again, you know, the trees that we have and the beautiful trees that we have going down, no one wants to see trees go down, but the winds that we experienced and what happened here was just Mother Nature showing her true, I don't want to say anger, but her true force when she wants to. But the reality is that we have a wonderful, wonderful staff here, and the entire village came together as a family, whether it be the residents and all of the staff that our village has here working to do things and get things done so that everybody who could be helped and taken care of as fast as possible was helped and taken care of. I want to thank PSE&G for coming in as fast as they did. I know people said that they didn't respond. They were here within hours of the storm, and they did work tirelessly to get done with whatever they could do at the time. So I want to thank them. Again, it's been before, they've all been mentioned, but DPW, the police department, the fire department, recreation department, the library, the administrative staff, the building department, everybody pitched in. And everybody helped doing whatever they could. Our DPW guys were out there 24 hours a day, making things happen, cleaning up, doing the things that we have to do. You know, today you ride around the village, with the exception of a couple of stumps and maybe some new sidewalks being put in, you'd have no idea that we actually had a storm here. You know, poor Joe O'Grady started last week, and we're blaming him for the storm because he's the new guy. You know, he was out there with everybody else doing what he had to do. We thank him for his background in emergency management and things like that. But Kevin Ganane, I can't say enough about. Kevin, thank you so much for everything that you've done. The residents, forget all of the things that had to be done by way of doing the mechanics that had to be done. The trees being taken care of, sidewalks being replaced, all streets being open, wires being moved, things like that, and his coordination with every one of our wonderful staff in DPW. But his care and concern for the residents and talking to them and calming them down and making them understand. chasing after PSC&G trucks or other trucks when you had to get them to come back and do the things that you had to do. But again, Will Doherty, again, from our police department, same thing, working so hard. Commissioner McAllister, Renee Marcus, our department heads, Kurt, Pat Aaron, keeping the library open in case somebody needed to charge phones, things like that. All of the efforts and coordination that went into it. We learned a lot from Sandy, and a lot was put together after that, and we were able to execute a very good plan this time to do the things that we had to do. We still had trees down on people's houses. Part of the problem was that we couldn't remove those trees until the wires were cut off and the power was cut off, so that we didn't have anybody hurt in the process. So we had to wait for other people to do that. All that being said, whatever could be done was done, whatever could help, and whenever we were able to do that. And nobody understands this probably better than Archie Chang sitting to my right, because he was out of power for, 8 days? 8 days, with the tree right across from his house being pushed onto the house across the street, as well as all of his electric wires and power wires and everything else being ripped off of his house. So, firsthand, Archie had to experience this one in the worst way. But I want to thank everybody for everything that they've done. Again, Jerry, Susan, Darlene, I know I'm going through everybody, but it's, and the board out there. We were traveling around together. Poor Kevin, he had all of us in his car at one point, as well as some other guests, as many people we could fit in that car at the time, so that we could see what was happening. So thank you all so very much. This is when this village comes together, and it's truly, we are blessed with all of our residents and everybody working the way they did. So I just want to take this opportunity again to congratulate you for getting it done and getting the work done that had to be done. We do not, this village looks great. We'll take care of a couple of minor things that still have to get taken care of, but it looks great. I also want to welcome Elliot. Elliot, thank you for being with us tonight. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for covering us in the paper and doing the things that you got to do. And of course, Felix, thank you again so much for being here. I want to just recognize Felix, because I was at a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and Felix was pointing out some things at that meeting about how things could be done, and he recognized and used us as the model, the village of Floral Park. And Felix, thank you so much for that. That means a lot. And Felix has offered us suggestions that we've changed things about in the past, so thank you for that too. And thank you again for Felix. Please, Felix is at a lot of different meetings, looking at different recording on his own time, doing things. Just the Facts Media is his baby. He takes care of that. He does all this stuff. But thank you again for everything that you do in getting us all there. And with that, I will stop rambling here and ask for a motion to close the meeting so that we can hear from our residents. Okay?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, with that, as Darlene is telling me I'm talking way too long, even through the mask I can see that she's telling me I'm talking way too long. I would ask any residents, if you have any issues, to please come up to the microphone, if you could. Mr. Jones, if we could do Mrs. O'Neill first, would that be okay?
No.
Okay?
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, all right, yeah, either way, whoever wants to go first, I'll let you guys decide. So.
Okay, I'd like to address this brief and I'd like to applaud to Commissioner McAllister and the mayor. I don't know whether you're really aware of the body shop on the corner of Plainfield and Terrace Avenue. I mean, I think there should be a rule that when you have a body shop, it's like a chop shop. There's fenders here, and there's wheels here and everything. I feel like I'm in Harlem or something. I mean, this was a wonderful block. This guy is a newbie, he comes in, and he's just taken over. I mean, he's not...
Mrs. O'Neill, can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Has it just changed ownership? Is it a new owner?
No, they've been there
I was
about,
gonna say-
they're there about, I don't know how many years.
Okay, so it's the same
But
people.
it's
right?
not worse.
Okay.
Every year it gets worse. I mean, now with the railroad, we thought people on the block thought we were going to have a problem with the railroad. The railroad is most considerate to the neighbors. But they put these cones up, or barrels, orange barrels. And that's supposed to be, according to Judy White, only for cars of people that are working on the third rail, or the electricians or anybody that comes in. Well, this bloke takes over, and he puts all his cars there. We had a day, one day, when I can't imagine somebody wasn't killed. In fact, I called the police department, and the policeman came, and he looked it over and everything, and he just shook his head. But I mean, I think, I'm not allowed to park on my side of the block. If my sister comes over to visit, or my children come over to visit, if my driveway can't hold, because I got 4 sets of children, sometimes they come together, I can't park in front of my own door. But this bloke can come all the way down the block, it's all no parking, and he's right there. I thought, whatever happened to 4-hour parking?
Okay, you know what, we'll have somebody, Commissioner McAllister. and
We've
then-
been looking at it, Mayor.
If you guys could take.
I actually got a call from one of our neighbors about a week and a half ago, and we put it on our high priority list to address it. We spoke to the owner about it and told him that we were going to do aggressive enforcement there.
Okay,
That's becoming a public safety issue. I realize the issue coming out of Plainfield and Terrace, now with the new sight lines because of construction, it's difficult, and with these cars, and everything she says is correct. He is abusing his privileges there.
You know?
great, okay.
And not only that, but landscaping. I mean, it's bad enough that we have trucks on the street and everything else that they're doing a job. His landscaping, I mean, I'm sure he's bringing in plenty of money. He can't hire a landscaper, we all do. His grass is up, and then in the middle of it, there's a cigarette butt here, and there's a cup here, and there's a mask here. It's really,
We have enforcement powers for that, so I'm gonna ask Renee and Kevin, okay, guys, please?
just that somebody could look
Yeah,
at it.
yeah, you know what,
Appreciate that,
and
yeah.
we'll be right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. No, thank you for letting us know. I appreciate it. So, I'm sorry, Mr. Jones? Thank you.
My name is Dan Jones, Floral, Terrace. I came here to talk about the trees, but I found out earlier today that they're going to cut down several trees on that corner.
Yes.
I'm so glad, me and Capola planted our tree when we first moved to the neighborhood, so the tree's got to be a good 50 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that heavy, but it's very tall. And it shakes, and it's leading towards the house, and it picks up our sidewalk. I'm glad you're really coming back.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at, not only your block, but a lot of the trees in the area. Just so you know, we do have an arborist that we work with.
Yeah.
We're gonna have him take a look at a lot of the trees in the area, but we're gonna start on your block.
I appreciate
He was here today.
He was here today, okay, great.
Second of all, I'd like to talk about a party that took place on Sunday night. On this corner in Plainfield Avenue. I don't leave the house address because there is no address on the door. I guess they don't leave a address on the door. But anyhow, I called up and I found out that parties can go to 11 o'clock. I can remember going to block parties where they ended at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it is 11.
It's okay, 11 o'clock. So I called up 10 after 11, the party was still going strong. So I called up the police department. And they generally do a very good job, when you're asking them to do something. And they said they'd take care of it. So finally I went to bed at 12 o'clock. I had a long day, and the noise continued. And I don't understand how you can be so loud when you're wearing a mask. I can't hear someone with a mask. It's very difficult. Which tells me that the crowd taking part in this party no more masks. And the yard was packed. The commotion between the music and the talking.
Okay, I will tell you that we had not granted any block party permits, so this wasn't a block party, this was a private party.
No, the house party.
The house party, okay.
I
just wanna make sure I understand.
Fine, I guess it'd be 10 after 11, I think, let me check in and find out when you're gonna end this. And I spoke to someone, some police, you're gonna send somebody over and call it a night. And here it is 12 o'clock and they're still partying. I mean, it's, how much partying can you do on a Sunday night?
It's a good question. I know people have to go
My
work.
wife-
And I'm not making light of it.
We had a long day, we had a big trip, we gotta unpack the car.
Yeah. But I will tell you that, we do ask people to come down to parties at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
We don't stop people from, having people at their houses at 11
It's
o'clock.
fine.
But, the police did go by. I will find out more if they followed up or anything like that.
Especially with the business today, you've got to wear masks.
Yeah, that they have.
You know, full house in your backyard.
Exactly. There are limitations.
Trouble.
There are the CDC guidelines and COVID-19.
I just want to let you know what's happening.
No, I appreciate it. In fact, they did call your house before, but I guess you guys were.
When you try, people always do a very good job.
Yeah, no, they're awesome.
You know?
Yeah.
That's your advantage.
They may do a great job. It doesn't always mean people listen, so follow it. So, but and please, if it ever happens again, when you see something like that, don't hesitate to call. Please call, and please follow up if you can. You know, if it doesn't stop, call us back. Okay? All right?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, is anybody else? All right. Oh, now you're in trouble, Rob. That's fine.
No, this is actually, I think maybe for the past number of years, the intersection of Floral Parkway, West Poplar, Carnation, where it all comes together, it's fairly active. The house on the corner, if you're heading east on Carnation, and you're getting to you've got the Korean church on the corner, to the
Yeah.
left now. The house on the corner, on the right of West Poplar and Floral Parkway and Carnation, previous owners, I think, were pretty cognizant of the fact that their bushes had always overgrown. They usually kept them relatively within, whatever, I'm not sure the village height, 4 feet, whatever. So the new family that's moved in there, I'm not sure if they're quite aware of that. Anybody who's lived in the village, you know with that intersection, it can be very dangerous, especially when you're heading north on West Poplar. You've got the traffic coming in, Coronation Avenue, stopping quite often.
Are you talking about the house on the left-hand side? So looking at Floral Parkway?
If you're on Carnation, right, if you're facing towards Birch Street, say coming down Carnation, and you're at the traffic, you're at the stop sign.
Okay.
You've got your church on the left, West Poplar comes out sharply on your right.
Right, yeah.
That corner house directly on your right. The woman's name is Danica, I forgot the last name.
Okay.
Anyway, the way that the bushes now are
I'll take a look at it.
fairly overgrown. I don't know what you can do as far as forcing it.
No, we can
to maintain, but, I think a letter now and then saying, please keep these bushes in, some kind of low condition, because it is, I live 3 houses down, the traffic, the horns I hear on a regular basis, fortunately, that's a wide, big intersection, that there's enough near misses. It's amazing that there's not any more accidents there, but it is just one of the biggest point. Like I said, I know it's been addressed, I know it's up over the years, but it's getting to the point again where these bushes are very high. And
It's
it's
check.
traffic.
Then they
can't
can't,
see.
like you said, a new neighbor or something like that, so.
Right, so that's right.
Okay.
Just kind of came up, so I was thinking.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Notice 272, the one that's the triangle. We've been issuing violations from that.
Okay, so we've already issued some violations of it, so. You're talking about the one 272 Carnation, or you're talking about the one on West, that faces West Poplar?
The house faces, the front door faces West
House
Poplar.
Poplar, so it's the
Yeah.
other one.
The
It's
north
the one
side is
across the
on
street from
Carnation.
that. Okay.
Yeah, you can't miss it when you pull up to the stop sign, so.
Okay. And I think that house was recently sold, so.
It was,
you may be-
that's my point.
Great. Is there anything else from anybody? All right, sorry. Zoom. Is there any questions from Zoom? I don't think so. I don't see anything here. Hold on. I don't have any questions in the chat. So-
Unless you have,
What?
no questions unless
No
you
question. No, I don't have any because there's only a couple of us on Zoom. So with that, all right, Robert. Now it's your turn. What'd you get from tonight? Did you take notes?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us what you learned tonight. You thought this was going to be easy.
He's gonna put it on the spot.
So, you don't have to answer. No, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for coming, okay? It's important that you learn at your age what goes on in government. You should take an active role in wherever you decide to live and in your community, okay? So please do that, all right? As a Boy Scout, you're doing that already, so we're very proud of you for that reason. But at the same time, okay, never forget that, all right? Keep going with that, okay? All right, great. Again, we do have a quick question from one of our other very important members of our community who attends every meeting with us, and that's Tim Cudi. Tim, what is the status of the reopening of the repaving of Floral Boulevard? Tim, tonight we passed a resolution awarding the contract for the repaving. We hope to see that started in the next couple of weeks, okay? So you'll probably start to see people start working there very soon, all right? Hope that answers your question. Okay, you got it. Thank you for being on, okay? And with that, if anybody else has anything else, thank you all. Get home safe. Thank you all for being here.